I hope this audio works, and I hope my hair's not in the way. Okay, let's try this again. Good morning. My name is Christina. Welcome to my home. And today I want to walk you through my July TBR. Insert slide. I think that's stupid. Whatever. Cool. Okay. So I use the Storygraph app to track all of my reading and TBR kind of and books read, etc. And they have a really neat feature that I love. If you add a book to your TBR, you have the option of adding it to your up next section, and you can add 5 books to your up next on the Storygraph. And so that's what we're going to go through today. The 5 books plus 1 that I have on my up next section for July. A few of these I've had on here for a little while because I do prioritize library holds, as well as book club books that I haven't added to this list. But these are so that I don't forget them, particularly for some series that I'm, getting from the library, or they're just not super priorities, I guess. Like they're there because I want to read them, but if I pick up another book that I want to read more, then I'll do that. So the first book on the up next section of my TBR is Heartsong by TJ Klune, which is book 3 in the Green Creek series. I've been a little bit not hesitant. I've been a little bit slow to pick this up. I absolutely devoured Wolfsong. So fell in love with it. Loved it, loved it, loved it so much. Bawled my eyes out when I read it last year. So many quotable lines. Oh, it was amazing. But I had a little bit of trouble picking up Ravensong, which was book 2, because I wanted to continue reading about Ox and Joe. I didn't want to read about Gordo and Mark. But I did love Ravensong when I read it. So now we have Heartsong, which is following Robbie Fontaine, who's introduced in book 1. And I don't know why I'm nervous to read it. I think I'm just afraid that I'm not going to like it, which I've loved the other 2 books that I've read so far. So that's book number 1 on my list. I don't own a physical copy, but I plan to pick one up when I have money. Book 2 on my TBR is, I'm currently doing a reread of this series just for funsies. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is a reread. Like I said, this is a reread for me. I'm doing a reread of the series. It's a chonker. It's over 800 pages. I love this series so much. I know a lot of people, when this book came out, didn't love it. I very much read books for fun. I am generally quite oblivious to plot holes unless they're massive. But I loved this one. And again, I've only read this one once, so I'm curious to see if I will feel the same way when I read it the second time. But I enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, this is book 3 in the series, so we're following Bryce and her friends on their shenanigans. If you do plan on reading the Crescent City books, make sure you read all of the ACOTAR books first, because there is a crossover at the end of book 2 into book 3. Keep that in mind. Okay, next. When I first picked up the series, I read it ironically because I'd heard how amazing it was online, but I'd also heard how terrible it was online. So I picked it up to kind of make fun of it, and then I couldn't put it down. So the third book on my up next TBR is Zodiac Academy 9, Restless Stars. I'm excited to read this because I'm hoping for the conclusion that I want. There is a couple that I want to get together really, 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 really badly, but they won't talk to each other, and that drives me crazy. So I'm hoping to get that ending that I'm gonna love. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I'm also getting tired of, it's the same conflict as the last 4 books, and I'm getting tired of it. The last book that I read, book 8, I don't remember the subtitle, but book 8 in this series had 15 different POVs, and I don't think I'm a fan of that. I don't skip POVs, but I want to. There are so many that I don't care about, but I don't skip them. I'm just not happy about reading them. Okay. Book 4 on my TBR is also a reread. I love this series so much. I've read this series probably 6 times, maybe. I didn't used to track. I do track now. I love it so much. The Vampire Academy series by Richelle Mead. There is a bookmark in here in preparation for my reread. I am not that far ahead. I have not started this book again recently. Oh, this book. So when I used to live overseas. I lived overseas for a couple years when I went to college, and I moved back and was getting back into my life, living at my parents' house in Canada, trying to find work. And I met up with a friend from high school, and she's also a really big reader, and she introduced me to the Vampire Academy series. Thank you, Katie. I love you so much. We still regularly discuss this series. Every time I pick it up, or I watch the show, or I watch the movie. I'm really mad that they canceled the show, by the way. Every time I pick up this book, I text her and say, hey, I was thinking of you when I read this book. Rose and Dimitri, I know this book it is problematic in some aspects. I just don't care. I don't care. But I love this book so much. You can pry it from my cold dead hands if you don't agree with me. I bought the box set of the Vampire Academy series. I do not own the Bloodlines series, but it's on my list of books to purchase. And I do also reread that one regularly. I get those ones from the library. I've done the audiobooks as well, but nothing beats reading this book with your eyeballs. So I can't wait. I'm so excited. The next book that I have on my TBR, it's not included on my up next list because you can only have a maximum of 5, but I have a physical copy of it, so it's on my list, is Kukum by Michel. This book was given to me by my father, and it's in French. He probably gave it to me so that I can improve my French, which I need to do. This is a novel about a young orphan who's raised by her aunt and uncle, who falls in love with a young Innu man, despite their cultural differences. It is quite a short book. It's less than 250 pages, so I'm hoping that it will be a quick read, but I do know that because it is in French and because I know I need to work on my French, it will take a little bit longer for me to get through. But I'm excited for this. My dad read it and he really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to have it on my list. Alrighty. And the last book that I have on my TBR for July is Careless People, a cautionary tale of power, greed, and lost idealism by Sarah Wynn-Williams. This book came out, it was published in March, and I'm excited to read it. I have it from the library. It's on my Kobo. It's like lined up, ready to go. This is the insider account of, I guess, Sarah's experience working at Facebook, at Meta. And it terrifies me a little bit because I'm afraid that I'm going to want to delete all my social media accounts once I'm done this book. What blows my mind about this book is that she worked very closely with her publishers to not have any information about this book available before it was published. And she's since signed, my understanding is correct, since signed whatever agreement that she cannot publicly, she can't discuss this book publicly. She's not allowed to do any interviews. She can't go on tour. She can't, publicize is not the right word. She can't, what's the word? Anyway, she's not allowed to discuss this book publicly. because she signed this agreement with Meta. However, because they've tried to stop her, everyone else has been going on about this book. And so I'm really excited to read it. Again, I'm very nervous because I'm afraid that I'm gonna want to crawl into a hole and never leave it again. Such is the world. Like, part of the synopsis on the Storygraph app says, Careless People is a deeply personal account of why and how things have gone so horribly wrong in the past decade, told in a sharp, candid, and utterly disarming voice. Like, that, stunning. Yes, 100% good recommendation. And I don't even think anyone in my circle has read this yet. I'm terrified. I'm excited and terrified. And there you have it, folks. That is my July TBR, as dictated, not dictated, as I have listed in my Up Next on the Storygraph app. As I did mention, if I do have any new books come in from the library, I will be prioritizing those as opposed to books that, you know, I already own copies of. And any new books, again, I'm not going to treat this as it needs to be read by the end of the month, but it would be nice. It would be nice if I could read them by the end of the month. I try not to put a whole lot of weight in, you know, I need to read so many books, because that has ruined me mentally in the past previously. So I don't try to make big reading goals. If I kick those goals, then great. If I make, you know, little ones achievable goals, then that's fantastic. But I try not to get too upset if I don't kick those. Yeah. If you are interested in following my reading journey, please hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you do want to follow me on the Storygraph as well, I will leave my username down in the description box, as well as a list of all the books that I mentioned today. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. If you made it to the end of this video, please drop down in a comment what book you are hoping to read, book or books you're hoping to read in July. And hopefully I can get some more ideas from you, and hopefully I was able to give you some ideas for your TBR as well. Okay, thanks. Bye.